and you want to be 100%, but sometimes you can't. And I wanted to be out there with my teammates, and maybe to a fault in the Georgia game, but at the same time, I wanted to just be out there and playing for my teammates because, I love playing with them. I genuinely do, and so you got to fight through it because, like you said, it's a week-to-week thing, especially in the SEC playing, big tough defenses every week. You're gonna have some nicks and bruises and injuries.
Things that you've seen on defense from Oklahoma, challenges they could possibly pose to you on Monday?
Yeah, and they're athletic. I think they got some good players. Pretty much every position. They struggled in a couple games this year, but at the same time they've had injuries and stuff, and they've had some time to get some of those guys back. And I think they're going to be have a good game plan, and they'll be ready to go. We're going to have to bring our A games.
Talk about the challenge of playing a Thunder team and scoring 45 a game. Guess there's some pressure on you guys to keep up.
Yeah, for sure. Our defense is really great, and I have all confidence in them. But you have to expect them to score some points. Because they have so many great playmakers. So we understand that as an offense that we have to be ready to score if needed. But like I said, I have all the confidence in our defense that there won't be too many.
Is time of possession a big emphasis for you guys, or do you feel like you can just run and gun and keep up?
I think it kind of depends on the flow of the game. If we're ahead or whatever, or we're behind. I think it kind of just depends on the flow of the game, how that goes.
Coach Lashley said you guys are going to have to throw the ball to really keep that balance. Mm-hmm. You guys feel confident in that in this month of practice?
Oh yeah, yes. I think our offense is at our best when we're balanced. There's no question, and I think we've done a really good job in both practices, throwing and catching the ball. So hopefully that comes out from the Sugar Bowl.
How much time do you think you spent in the training room this last month and a half?
A lot of time. Every day I was in there just trying to get healthy, trying to get back to 100%, and I just want to thank them. I think the medical staff did an amazing job, and I feel 100% and ready to go. So thanks to them.
What was your injury?
It was a couple different things. I don't know if they want me to get all into it, but a couple. It didn't on my throat and shoulder.
So our Coach Lashley talked about you having an underdog mentality that and now I know you've heard a lot of talking about Jarrett Stidham coming in and all that stuff, and you're going to have to compete again.
Yeah.
Just talk about how you approach that.
Yeah, you approach it. I think when they bring in people like that, and they're going to try to make the football team better. That's their job as coaches and stuff. So whether it's bringing a quarterback for competition, and the best man will win. So Jarrett seems like a great kid and a good player. So I'm excited to welcome him into the family. And I do have the underdog mentality as far as I never really get picked. It seems like before I have to kind of prove myself, but I have no problem doing that at all. And, when you're back against the wall, what's inside of you comes out. So I think that's what will show in the Sugar Bowl.
What tricked you on the throw at Georgia, the interception at Georgia? What was the misread there?
I don't know if I was behind the lineman or so I just didn't see him. Obviously I threw right to him, but stuff like that happens, and it's in the past, and I learned from it, and I'll bounce back from it.
Speaking of being the underdog, Oklahoma went through its conference undefeated. Y'all lost your last two conference games. It would seem like that'd be a big disparity, but the odds makers only have you like a 3-point underdog. Mm-hmm. What does that say about the respect for Auburn, or maybe and feel like?
Yeah, I think first of all, playing in the SEC is tough, and not that the Big 12 isn't. That's a great conference as well. Playing in the SEC is tough, and I think the SEC gets a lot of respect. And then second of all, we had some key injuries down the stretch. To Petway and myself and a few other guys, and I think that everybody's healthy now, and that's a big. I think we're a different team when everybody's healthy.
I know y'all were focused in on the Iron Bowl that week, but as the bowl situation evolved, LSU gets speed and Tennessee. How much were y'all following that and trying to calculate? Hey, we might wind up in the Sugar Bowl after all.
Yeah, I think it was after the Iron Bowl. We're obviously very disappointed. No one was really talking on the bus ride home, but I think they had it on the TV. They had Tennessee was losing or something like that, and I don't remember the other scenario, but I just remember thinking in my head, like, man, we still could make the Sugar Bowl maybe. That's the only thing, that's good at it today. But, it's a blessing to be able to play in the Sugar Bowl in a big-time game like this. And I just can't wait to go out there and play with my teammates.
If you couldn't be in the playoffs, was that preference?
That's
your preference?
My favorite one, yes, sir. If you're not in the playoffs and you're playing in the SEC, the Sugar Bowl is the best bowl, in my opinion, that you can play in.
We were talking to Chandler the other day, and he said he's actually a decent passer.
Yeah, he can throw. He played a little bit of quarterback in high school, and sometimes it doesn't look the best, but it'll get there.
So Coach Sean White says maybe work on the arm slot a little bit.
Yeah, he's just so. I think he's so stocky. I think that's why it looks like that. But it gets right. He throws it right on the money. You can definitely throw.
Does this game have any significance just in terms of, when a team gets a little injured and doesn't kind of finish the way up, want to. But you want to kind of validate all the hard work you've put in since August and even springtime. I mean, do you view this game in that context at all?
Yeah, I mean that like what you said, but then also to the point where we really feel like when we're healthy, we're a different team. And me and Petway wasn't healthy the last couple games this season. I didn't feel healthy the last couple games this season, and I think we're both back and ready to go, and along with some other people, and we feel like we're 100%. We're a pretty tough team to beat.
When you have a month off though, and you're not playing games and everything, is there any thought in the back of the mind that maybe we could still be rusty when you go out there?
I mean, not really, because the other team is the same scenario, really, and we've been practicing real hard and real well. So I don't think that's really in the back of our heads.
Does it remind you of like an October practices when you guys are out there? I mean, what does it feel like?
It's a little, especially before we come to the bowl set. I would say they're a lot tougher than like in-season practices, just because you don't have a game that Saturday, so you're not worried about your legs being sore, your arm being sore. So I would say they're tougher. But since we've been at the bowl practice, kind of feels like a normal game week. And I think the Tulane facility is real nice, by the way, that we've been practicing at, and it just felt normal.
Does the shoulder still feel a little sore after throwing a little bit?
No, sir, it doesn't.
Are you going to need any type of surgery or possibly look into that after the year?
I don't think so. No, sir.
Okay.
For you, when you step on the practice field for the first time after that layoff and you throw the ball and there's no pain, what goes through your mind?
I was pumped up. I was running around smiling. I mean, I can't, I was really happy, but and it felt, it just feels good to be healthy again and have my arm strength back again and just be able to go out there and play and not having to adjust like I got to try to throw it 20 yards because I'm only throwing 15, but I don't know, it's hard to explain, but I just feel comfortable and I can just not think about anything, just play, and I'm ready.
When your teammates say, hey, with Sean back, with everybody healthy, it feels different. What does that mean to you when people recognize the difference in having you guys healthy?
I mean, it's it makes me happy. I mean, obviously, it makes me feel good, and I just love playing with for them. I love playing with them, and I do anything for those guys. It's almost to a fault. Like I said in the Georgia game, I was just trying to be out there for my teammates. I probably maybe I shouldn't have, maybe I should have. I don't know, but I love playing with those guys, and I think they like playing with me, and and that's a good thing to have.
Sean, coming into the season, there were some people that said that you didn't have enough arm strength to be really good at this level. Sure. You think you shut them up the way you played this year?
I don't know if I quite have done that yet. I think there's still I still haven't even played a great game yet, in my opinion, what I would consider a great game. So I mean, I'm ready for the Sugar Bowl because I just feel really good. I feel like I've practiced well. I feel like we've practiced well as a team, and I think I'm just confident we'll have a good game.
What's a great game for you?
I mean, more than anything is the team does well and we win, and just as far as making every throw, don't leave any opportunities on the field, in my opinion.
Sean, Oklahoma hasn't been good this year against the pass in general. Do you guys feel like that's a matchup to take advantage of, or is it more important to be balanced?
I mean, I think we have to be balanced. I think that's when we're at our best. Would I love to go out there and throw it every play? Yes, I'm a quarterback, and that's my strength. But at the same time, what's best for our team is definitely, with Petway and Carry On and our great offensive line, is we got to be balanced. And yeah, their defense has let up a lot of passing yards and all that, but you have to think that the Big 12 does have a lot of good passing offenses, a lot of good quarterbacks in that league. So I mean, that does hurt their ranking a little bit. They're probably not as bad as their stats show. I mean, I think their defense is pretty good, and they got some good pass rushers, and we're going to have to play well.
Which hit was it in the Georgia game that you re-injured the shoulder? You knew.
It was one of the times where the guy kind of blitzed and came free. I think it was early in the first half or something like that. Can't remember exactly what the play was.
You were mentioning Jarrett Stidham a little bit. I know he's only practiced with you guys for a couple days, but what was kind of the relationship there and the dynamic, coming into?
Yeah, I mean, he was only there for I think 2 days of practice, right. So I don't know him too well yet, but he seems like a really good guy, good kid, and he's got a good arm. He was out there throwing, and I'm excited to compete against him.
I know you and your father mentioned that right last year when he was recruiting you, he said that we're bringing you in, but we're going to try and get a better person than you every year recruiting, and you said you were up for that. And we've talked a lot about how it seems like, people doubt you everywhere you go, the Elite 11, being the starter, and now this. What have you learned from that to take into the spring when everybody's going to be trying to doubt it again?
Yeah, I mean, I would just say that, like you said, Coach Lashley said that he's going to try to bring somebody in every year, and that's, obviously Jarrett Stidham was a big-time quarterback and stuff like that, so when they had the chance to get him, they wanted to recruit him and make it a competition, and that's only going to make me better. And you know, like I said, I mean, I feel like I've been in the underdog role a lot, and it's something where I'm comfortable, and I feel like I can, you know, it might even make me better, you know. So, you know, because you know, I really believe like when your back's against the wall and you know you have no choice but to compete and play well. You know, I really feel like that's when I do my best.
Do you feel like the bowl game could be a launching pad for you into the spring? If
Definitely.
you have that great game you keep mentioning.
Definitely. I mean, there's no question. I mean, I think, you know, if you play well in the Sugar Bowl, you're just going to create a lot of momentum for not only for me but for the whole team going into the spring.
How's Woody looked this year? And I mean, does he? Obviously, people aren't really talking about him as much about
sure.
you
Yeah,
and
I mean,
Jarrett,
Woody.
Has he got a shot?
He's a really funny kid, a good kid. We're both from Florida, so you know we have some of those similarities. But I like Woody a lot, and he's been on scout team this year.
Right.
For most of the season, but, you know, bowl practice and stuff. He's practiced with us, and he's got a lot of talent and a lot of you know, a lot of upside to him, a high ceiling. And I think he's gonna be a great player one day.
Red had a lot of praise for Obo on Oklahoma's defense. Is that a guy you guys are concerned about in pass rush situations?
Yeah, definitely. He's a great athlete in pass rush as well as, you know, if he's dropping back in, he's a great player in my opinion. Watching film.
We talked